Hello, welcome, and most importantly, congratulations on deciding to learn a new skill and diving into the world of Android app development. Learning Android is really like anything else. The job can be made easier with the right tool. Our primary tool will be the Android Studio IDE. Android Studio is the official IDE for Android application development and was released back in 2014, starting at version 1.0. Since then, multiple updates have been released, with the most current version at the time of this recording as version 4.1.2. Now, while the Java programming language was Google's preferred language for Android app development and can still be used today, recently Google adopted the Kotlin programming language as its primary language and preferred language for Android app development. So we are going to work solely in Kotlin for this course. Kotlin is designed to interpolate fully with Java, which means they can essentially operate together. This is great because Java is an older, well-supported, and highly functional language, and Kotlin can work right alongside any pre-written Java code. And yes, semicolons are optional. So in order to use Android Studio, even though we're going to write all our code in Kotlin, we need Java installed on our computer. You can sort of think of it as Kotlin works on top of Java. Now, we can go and install the Java Development Kit, or JDK, ourselves, but a copy of the latest OpenJDK comes bundled with Android Studio. And this is the Java Development Kit that Google recommends we use for any Android projects. So we'll use that JDK instead of, that's included instead of going to get our own. So let's start by going to Google and typing in Android Studio. We'll click on the first link here to download. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can see the system requirements for each operating system. So let's see. Right here. So you can see the system requirements for Windows, Mac, Linux, and Chrome OS. Please make sure you have a computer that is capable of running this software before continuing with the course. Also check that your computer is either capable of running the emulator, or you have a physical Android device that you can test your apps on. But warning here, not all physical Android devices work. I have some older Android track phones that Android Studio doesn't recognize. Now, if you meet the system requirements, let's scroll back up to the top of the page and click Download Android Studio. All right, I'll agree to the terms and conditions, and I will download Android Studio here. And so this downloader will go through. I'm going to pause the video here, and why don't you pause it as well, and we'll see you when the installer is installed. Okay, welcome back. My installer has finished, so I'm just going to come over here to my downloads, and here we are. We'll run the installer. Okay, it's just doing its setup. We're going to allow Android Studio to make changes to our device here. Okay, and we'll click Next to continue. We'll install both the Android Studio and the Android virtual device. We'll have both of those checked for installation. Next, we'll specify the where we want the installation to occur, and I'll just use the default location. That's fine for me. I'll keep shortcut information here all the same, so we're not going to make any changes here, and we'll click Install. And so now the installation begins. And I don't think it actually takes that long. I'm not going to pause the video here. It looks like it's moving pretty quickly. And then once it's finished, we'll open up and start Android Studio. So perfect. Hopefully no hiccups so far along the way in the installation process for you. There's something very satisfying in watching a status bar get filled, at least on my end. Maybe you feel that same way. We'll see. Okay, we're nearing the end here, and it is completed, so we'll click Next, and I will click Finish to open up Android Studio. Okay, so while I'm presented here, this is the first time I've loaded it up, so I'm asked if I want to configure an installation folder or not import settings. So I'm not going to import settings since this is our first time starting it here. And when we open this up, we should be greeted with our setup wizard. Okay, it's doing some downloads in the back, and here is our Android setup wizard. Okay, so let's see. This is going to help us kind of get everything going. So we'll click next here. We have to choose the type of setup we want. I'm going to use standard. We're not going to do a custom installation. So we'll do standard. We'll pick our theme, whether we want light or Darkula. I'm going to pick Darkula. I like it. I think it's better on my eyes. And plus, it's a way cooler name, right? Darkula. We'll click next. And now, let's see. Let's note here, if we look, we're getting an Sdk location and a JDK. Remember, we said we needed a Java development kit. It's going to install one for us right here. An Sdk is a software development kit. This is essentially like the versions of Android that we want to run on like our phones, our virtual emulators. So it's going to install both of those things for us, and we can note their location here. And we can kind of see some of the other things that it's going to install, like the Android emulator, and some Android like SDK software development kit tools, etc. Okay, so we can click finish, and when we do, Android starts to download and install here. The wizard's going to take care of it for us. All right, aren't the wizards the best? So this one actually will take a little while. So I'm going to pause the video, and I will unpause it when my installation is complete. Okay, and welcome back. Hopefully now, if we look, you're presented with a similar screen that I am that says everything has been complete, downloaded complete, and we are ready to click finish. So I'll click finish here. And now if we look, what we see is the Android screen here, just like me. This is our starting screen, essentially. We see a few options that we have to create new projects over here. And then later on, what we'll see is there's going to be a window over here that's going to show our recently opened projects later on once we start getting them. The first thing that we should do is let's click configure, and let's just go down here and check for updates. Let's make sure that we're all set. And it looks like there is a beta version of 4.2. I'm going to ignore the beta version for right now. We'll just keep it in this stable version of 4.1.2. Next, let's go to configure, and let's click settings, and here we can change some of our default settings. So if we look, we can change like our appearance, if we want to change our theme or our font. We can go down to settings, and let's go down to system settings right here, and we can change the memory settings. So here we can essentially adjust the amount of RAM that Android Studio is going to use. So if your Android Studio is not running, well on your machine, you can try to allocate more or less memory that you have here. But it does tell you, allocating too little memory or allocating too much memory might degrade the performance. So there's going to be a sweet spot right there. So I just wanted to show you that in case you're not happy with the performance of the Android Studio on your computer. And lastly, and most importantly, we're going to do something to add auto imports to Android Studio so that Android Studio will automatically import any libraries we may be using when we try to code. So to do this, we're going to go into Editor, and then we're going to go into General and Auto Imports. And so here we have a couple languages, Java, Kotlin, C, and C++. We're using Kotlin, so we're going to click Add Unambiguous Imports on the Fly and Optimize Imports on the Fly for Kotlin. And while we're here, I'm going to click it for Java too. That way, in case you decide you want to try some, Android apps, running them in Java, it will happen there for you as well. So now we'll click Apply, and we'll click OK. And we're all set. So everything else we're just going to leave alone, but just know that Android Studio is pretty customizable. I think this is a great place to stop here. Android Studio is installed, working, updated, and customized, and we should be set to dive right in during our next video. So I'll see you then.